Before reading the chapter, there were some things that I did already know. I knew that there were some type of standardized testing in preschool classrooms. I am a pre-K teacher, so I was aware of the type of standardized testing that we did, but I will say that I wasn't really sure of the types of standardized testing for infants and whatnot. So while I did read about achievement tests, which measure the extent to which a person has acquired certain information or has mastered identified skills. And this was something that I was aware of because being a pre-K teacher, my students do take a couple different types of assessments. One is an oral assessment that the teacher administers, and then the other one is actually on the computer. So the children will play different games kind of, but it is an assessment and it does measure their skills. And then afterwards, it kind of tells us like different things that the student needs to work on and such. And it kind of puts them like at a level so that we know. I also read about screening tests for preschoolers, and these provide a snapshot of children's development that indicates when a child might have a developmental problem that needs further investigation. And this is kind of leaning more towards like their health and development. So I did read that screening test can help identify if a child has autism or cerebral palsy or problems with their fine motor skills. And then the last assessment that I kind of read on was the diagnostic test for preschoolers. And this happens after a screening test and it determines the need for further evaluation. So they will look at the results from the screening test and they'll kind of figure out if the child does have autism or cerebral palsy or fine motor skill issue, something like that. And they will come up with a plan to help the child figure out what's going to happen with them. So I would say that something that did confuse me a little bit from the chapter was when it talked about assessments for infants. And I'm a little bit confused because I still don't really know how you would assess an infant. So I think that I kind of just want to read up a little bit more on assessing infants because it's not my specialty. I'm not an infant teacher. So I could either maybe talk to the infant teachers at the school that I work at and kind of talk to them about that, or even just reading up more on it because that's something that I'd like to be a little bit more educated on.